Another day, another video. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we're watching The Big Bang Theory. This is the 19th episode of the 6th season. Hope you guys have been enjoying it so far. If you'd like to watch today's full episode, it is available for in a link in the description below. Just clicking it, put the password in, and enjoy. So last episode was kind of interesting, actually, because Raj actually went out on a date with, you know, the girl that he met on Valentine's Day, the one that left him at the start of the episode when he was having coffee, but she come back and apologised, and obviously we're seeing the continuation of that later on in yesterday's episode, where they went on a date again in the library where it was quiet, you know, so no speaking had to actually go down, and Raj decided to implement a texting date. So, you know, she admitted that she was kind of like awkward and not really, I don't know, feel amazing, you know, in like social engagements and encounters, and he decided obviously to kind of break the mold and do something different. It kind of helped him in his way of not being able to speak to women, and helped her in a way where she didn't have to, you know, speak out loud and you know, well, I won't say embarrass herself, but you know what I mean, like feel awkward and strange. The date was pretty good, to be honest, and she ended up giving him a little kiss when they left, so that was nice to see. And obviously last episode, the guys, he was trying to go into schools and basically show females, young females, that, you know, the science is a great industry to go in. Basically, it's all going there explaining the jobs, the roles, and what they do. I thought everybody would be interested and fascinated with the astronaut in Howard, to be honest, but not many people actually showed any interest in any of them. Me as a kid, to be honest, when I went into school, if an astronaut come in, I feel like everybody would have been amazed, but it didn't really go down really well. I feel like a couple of them might have enjoyed it, but it was just interesting to see them in, you know, trying to explain what they do and get other people to sign up. They ended up getting the girls on the phone, and basically they described what they do in the industry, and obviously like how good it is, and how obviously it doesn't have to be a male dominant field. It could be open for every single person. And it was interesting for them as well, because they was actually at Disneyland dressed up as princesses themselves. So it was kind of interesting to see. Obviously they saying it don't have to be a male dominated field. You could still be there and be girly, while they was actually all girly and dressed up themselves. When he went back to the apartments, you know, Howard straight away, when he seen obviously Bernadette dressed up, was naked. And you know, what is it now? Leonard done exactly the same. As soon as he went into the apartment and Penny was stood there in her outfit, he started to undress as well. And then we flicked to Sheldon, was hoping that was going to be the same thing. You know, what's her name now? Amy was laying the sofa, basically Sleeping Beauty. She was waiting for a kiss from the Prince Charming to wake her up, and Sheldon's just ignoring her on a computer. So while the other two are getting some and loving it, you know, Amy's still there waiting for that Charming Prince kiss to come along. So that was interesting as well, and it fits his personality down to a T. So thanks for checking out today's episode. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. If you do, please smash the like, really helps out. Subscribe if you do, and as always, let's jump into today's episode.
What you doing?
You said clean up. I'm cleaning up.
That's literally like Monica.
Throw everything in the closet.
Hey, you can tell me what to do, or you can tell me how to do it, but you can't do both.
What if someone's looking for the bathroom and they open that door?
Could work out. For all we know, there's a toilet in there somewhere. If you do, we should show the closet to Sheldon.
Why?
Are you kidding? He's like a savant at organizing. Did you know everything in his apartment has a label on it? Look really close at that label maker label. You'll see a label that says label. Show him the closet and let the goblins in his head take it from there.
I mean, that kind of does make sense, doesn't it? You know, he's got proper OCD. He likes to have everything organised in a certain way. Don't ask him to do something, just like kind of nudge him in that direction. When he sees it, he'll just want to take over.
Hey guys, come on in.
Hi. I know tonight's the night you eat Thai food, so I went to the Asian market, got all the ingredients, and made it from scratch.
Oh, you shouldn't have.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
No, you really shouldn't have. I brought my own. Now, don't you feel silly?
These spring rolls are amazing. Good job, Bernadette.
That's the takeout that Sheldon brought.
Oh, well, I'm sure they wouldn't have tasted nearly as good if I hadn't tried your food first.
Howard, did you want your clothes arranged seasonally or by color?
Color's fine.
They're wrong. They'll be arranged seasonally.
His quirks just make you love him more. Someone please agree with me.
It does look much cleaner.
It's getting late. Time to go.
Oh, 5 more minutes.
You know, if he really wants to stay and finish, I can give him a ride home.
Please, Leonard, he said it's okay. Few questions. I found 3 bowling pins. Now, do you juggle these? Or are you missing 7?
Oh my God, it's beautiful. And look, if found the juggling pins I hid.
Howard, I found this letter from your dad in a box. Now, based on the content, it could either be filed...
You opened this?
Now, as I was saying, based on the
I
content...
couldn't be less interested. The closet looks great. Let's get out of here.
Wait, can I bring this box of extra shirt buttons to sort on the ride?
Do whatever you want.
Thanks.
Do you know what? See, it's interesting this one here with Howard with his dad's letter because he says that I can't remember what he says now. Basically, the long story short is he thinks his dad left him when he was young, but like, does he ever actually know the reason? I don't think that it's ever actually been said that, and you know, he could have explained it in that letter. It literally could. Do you know what I mean? He could have been like, let's just say he was in the service and he went there. He could have been killed, or, you know, like or anything. Like, we actually don't know anything about him, and I'm not giving him a get out of jail free card, if that makes sense, because you know, he could be a deadbeat dad who just left his kid at home with his mum. But surely, if you've got a letter, you would want to open it and read it and see what it is. Might be his dad telling how much he loves him. Do you know what I mean? He could hate him all his life, and he's never opened that, and it could change everything. So I understand it's emotional that Sheldon's opened it without him being there and knowing it, but I can't believe he's got a letter for so long, and he's never actually done that.
You know, when I first met Howard, he would pull his scrotum out of his shorts and say, "Oh, I sat in gum."
What is your point?
Well, it's just kind of weird how grown up he is now. Happily married guy, throwing dinner parties.
It was a nice change of pace, not eating takeout around a coffee table.
You know, we could throw a dinner party too. Maybe even ask everyone to get dressed up.
You okay?
Yeah, I just couldn't sleep.
Told you shouldn't have espresso after dinner. I know the little cups make you feel big, but it's not worth it. Did you read it?
No, seen the man since I was a little kid. And a letter shows up on my 18th birthday?
Maybe he apologizes or explains why he left.
He abandoned me and my mother. Something I should have done a long time ago.
Feel better?
No.
I do. Neither one of us is tall enough to reach that.
Get a Peggy up. The thing is, right, we've seen it in the Vampire Diaries when a Caroline burnt a letter from her mum. It's just not a good idea, to be honest. I think that is a bad idea. I don't even know what the contents of the letter says, but he's making an assumption of a situation. Why does he get the chance to explain himself for abandoning us? I understand that there's probably more reasons of abandoning them that are worse than what he could say that would help the situation. But at the end of the day, he could have a very good justification. I'm not saying he will do, but what I'm saying is you can't just make it up and decide that that's the case. You know what I mean? I think he should have... I don't know. I personally think he should have read the letter or let Bernadette read the letter. And now that he's burnt it, he's never going to know. But Sheldon's read it. And maybe it gets to him like so much that he asked Sheldon what was the contents of it.
Just seeing that letter really freaked him out. He was already having a tough day because he accidentally wore my pants to work. I don't know why he was upset. They were bigger on him than me.
Well, you said Sheldon read it. Why not ask him?
He's got a photographic
What
memory.
kind of wife would I be if I didn't respect my husband's privacy?
Oh, hello. What can I do for you ladies?
You have something we want.
We just want information.
Oh, I've got that in spades. Ravage me.
We heard you read the letter from Howard's father.
I did.
What did it say?
Bound by closet organizer, organizee confidentiality.
Why do you even care? Just tell us what it says.
Control over the information contained in that letter belongs to Howard.
But the letter was found in Bernadette's closet. Doesn't that count for something?
Are you pointing out that California is a community property state? And since Howard and Bernadette are married, the intellectual property contained in that letter is jointly owned by the two spouses?
Yeah, obviously.
Well played.
Dude, you made the right choice coming to me for help with this party.
Actually, all I did was invite you.
The first thing we need is a theme. I'm thinking... turn of the century Moulin Rouge.
Penny and I just want to do something low-key. You know, cocktails, light jazz music, hors d'oeuvres. Hey, where have you been?
Oh, Leonard. You know, if I was prone to sarcasm, I'd say I was pulling off a major heist at the Museum of Laundry Baskets.
I meant, golly, Sheldon, you've been gone a long time.
Penny, Bernadette, and Amy. They made me reveal confidential information about Howard's father.
What information?
Come on, we won't tell anyone.
Sorry, badgering me won't work. What you should have said is, it's pointless to keep this a secret because Penny will tell us.
Fine then that.
All right, I'll tell you.
Do you know what I've noticed with Sheldon? He does it all the time. He basically baits somebody into a situation where they can ask him something, and he goes, "Oh well, all right then." You know what I mean? Like he'll say, "Under this law, section 3.2.1," and you're like, "Yeah, that," and he's like, "Mate, how did you know that?" Do you know what I mean? Okay, I suppose I'll disclose it. He does it all the time, but very interested to know the information that's inside that letter. Hopefully, it's good. Let it not be bad and upsetting and depressing. Let's hope that he sheds his dad in an okay light, and maybe Howard can clear some of the things that he's got in his mind. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously he's thinking X, Y, and Z, and maybe he gets some sort of closure. That's what it is. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's a hidden weight that people have on the shoulders. You don't realise that it's there until something actually happens, and you're like, geez, you know what I mean? I feel so much better now. I know this or that. I didn't even know I had something hanging over me, and that I feel like is Howard in this situation.
Yeah, it's nice to get dressed up once in a while.
And the hors d'oeuvres are delightful.
As is the company. Hey, listen, everybody, before Howard gets here, let's all just agree to not bring up the letter from his father.
Ridiculous that we still have to walk up all these flights of stairs.
Yeah, try doing it in heels. I know it was in your dad's letter.
Sheldon, I swear to God, I'm gonna kill you.
Hey!
You made him tell us.
Us? Who else knows?
I know.
Me too.
Same here.
Shame on all of you.
You know too.
Couldn't leave him with one friend, could you? If you want, we could tell you.
No, I don't want to know. I gotta go.
Used me as a human shield.
I panicked. He looked taller than usual.
What are you looking at?
Pictures of my dad and me when I was a kid.
That's nice.
I gotta tell you, as angry as I am at Sheldon for blabbing, he did a hell of a job organizing this closet. About 9-year-old Howie with cornrows.
Got a little surprise for you. Come on.
Oh. When you left, you weren't sure whether or not you wanted to know what was in your dad's letters, so we came up with kind of a cool solution.
It occurred to me that knowing and not knowing can be achieved by creating a macroscopic example of quantum superposition. If we each present you with an account of what your father wrote to you, only one of which is true, and then we don't tell you which one it is, you will forever be in a state of epistemic ambivalence.
It was a card for your 18th birthday. Inside it said, "Happy birthday, Howard. I love you."
It was a map leading to the lost treasure of famous pirate One-Eyed Willie.
Nice try. That's the plot for Goonies.
You didn't know it, but your father was in the auditorium at your high school graduation. And he cried because he was so proud of you.
It was a letter explaining that your dad wasn't who he said he was. Eventually, his other life caught up to him, and the only way to keep you and your mom safe was to leave.
I would like to change mine. The pirate's name was Pegleg Antoine.
Your dad wrote about how family is the most important thing, and that you should never throw it away like he did.
Inside the envelope was a picture of your dad holding you the day you were born. On the back, he wrote, "Howard, my son, my greatest gift."
Which one do you think it is? Matey?
Want all of them to be true.
Well, one of them is.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, surprisingly, the letter from your father wasn't the most interesting thing I read in the closet. Yeah, Bernadette's diary has some saucy passages.
Sheldon, don't you dare!
Well, there's nothing to worry about. Your secret's safe with me.
It's more like it.
Although copyright law would allow me to quote snippets in the context of the review.
See what I mean? Like, he drops it in there so people can get the answers. I mean, all them things that they just said was really good, to be honest, wasn't it? Every single one of them was positive, and even if it wasn't all of them and it was one single one, that's really nice.
Glad you're feeling better.
Me too. If I'd known we were going to be dancing, I would have worn my flats.
Pretty well, huh?
Yeah, I think so.
I agree. That is if you've never been to or heard of a party before.
If you'd let me pierce your brain with a hot needle in the right place, you'd be happy all the time.
I have a couple of questions about your closet. Now, is there any reason you're keeping this dead goldfish?
Damn, I forgot to feed him.
Do you also have a dog? Because I found what appears to be a battery-operated chew toy.
Party's over! Party's over!
That's interesting. So, I mean, Sheldon is good at organising. He's got his little OCD. Well, that's what I would call it anyway, where everything's got to be in the right place. It's got to be colour-coded, or it's got to be a certain thing, do you know what I mean? It's got to be perfectly positioned, aligned, do you know what I mean? Like, if that's not OCD, I don't know what is, but I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I wish I had it. Wish my house was just as clean as that. I mean, the only thing that I can say is my closet is actually colour coordinated. Never used to be, but I decided that when I got a new one, what I would do is I would go from light to dark. So from the right side, it goes light colours to darker ones. So it starts off with white, and then obviously we go this way and it goes grey and then black, and then the same with obviously above it I've got my t-shirts and my trousers, and then obviously it's colour coded like that. He went seasonal with Howard, which, you know, either way, either or, you know, they work. But I used to just have it anyway. Just stick them all in, and you root through them all. You know what I mean? I think doing long sleeve, short sleeves quite good as well. You know, sometimes I like wearing a lot of long sleeve tops. I don't have many t-shirts, so I have them separated as well, thick to thin, and obviously you can go through and get them. So I think Sheldon would be say I'd love him to come around to my house and obviously do everything and sort it all out. But obviously in today's episode, he's found some information about Howard's dad. We don't know as a viewer which is the correct one either. You know, we're left hanging and it's left us guessing. So, you know, the best thing for us to do is pretend that we're Howard and go from that point of view. So, if I'm Howard now and I was listening to all those things that everybody said, would I want one of them to be true or all of them to be true? I would want all of them to be true. I feel like all of them was great stuff, you know. Raji's basically said that he loved him. You know, Bernadette was saying that he was there when he was born. Now, I think the best one, in my personal opinion, actually, was probably Amy's. Basically saying that he was in school graduation or something like that, a play in the audience, and he never knew, and he was there, he's watching him, and he was proud. That's pretty cool. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, the other ones, like, his old life got up to him and he never wants him to, you know, be in a position like that himself. He always put family first. Again, that is a great one. But I feel like the deep one is that he's watching him in secret and he's proud of him. You know, that is pretty cool. And hopefully one day we find out the real true answer of why he actually left. You know, I actually do feel like there was all, apart from Sheldon's, the correct one, and that he actually may have did work in a situation, for example, in Prison Break. You know, they'd not seen their dad in years, and the reason is because obviously he was working in a job role, and then the company went after him, and the safest thing for him to do to keep his family safe was to duck under and go off the grid. You know what I mean? That way that his family are okay, they don't go after them, and he's in hiding. And, you know, I'm not saying that's what happened to Howard, but something similar. You know, you can't just assume that he was a deadbeat dad who just got up and left, when in reality, you know, he spent his childhood with him up until like 12 years old, and he obviously probably loved him, and obviously these letters sound like it's true. So I'm going to take the positives, and I'm going to take, from my conclusion of this, is that he does love him. His job did get in the way, and the safest thing for him and his mum was to keep them at arm's distance away and let them live a happy, healthy life while he has to deal with his business. Maybe one day, hopefully, it'd be great actually down the line to be an episode where they reunite and he spills it all and he's happy with him and he wants to build a, you know, a father-son friendship or bondship or whatever again. But in today's context of the episode, I thought it was a mistake burning it the way Caroline did in The Vampire Diaries, and I'm glad that he actually got... I think it was really clever, to be honest, to say, look, you know, if you don't want to know, what we'll do is to give you all these scenarios and you could decide which one you're happy with and which one it is. And all of them was really nice what they said, and it was a happy ending. Okay, that is going to wrap up today's episode. Thanks so much for checking out the channel today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I feel like I'm absolutely flying through this season, honestly. You know, I actually have no idea how we're going to end it. I feel like last season we had a good kind of story going on that was like, are they going to have a wedding? Is he going to go up into space? What's actually going on? And obviously it kind of all got concluded kind of in the final episode, which was probably one of the best ones we've had as well. Really, really entertaining. Now this season, I actually have no idea what we're going to do at the end. You know, it's always interesting going into the final few episodes of a season and not knowing what cliffhanger or what craziness is going to happen to lead on to the next season. But I actually think it's crazy that we're soon to be starting season 7. I know this is obviously a few more left to go, maybe got 5 or something like that, but like it's still mad to me anyway how much we're absolutely flying through it. And obviously in today's episode we had a deep one for Howard, obviously, and his father. It's the first time we've actually truly mentioned him in depth. You know, we talk about his mum all the time, and we kind of got a glimpse of her when, when Raj went to the house to fill kind of Howard's position when he wasn't there, and we seen her walk past the kitchen, and that was the first ever visual we ever had. You know what I mean? And obviously now later on in the season, we get to talk of his dad. Sheldon obviously read the information personally. You know, it's you shouldn't have read it. It's personal. You shouldn't be going through people's things. You shouldn't be reading diaries, never personal letters. You know what I mean? Like, if somebody wanted to disclose that information, they would do. It's personal. But at the end of the day, I do like the fact that he, I was going to say he withheld it and kept it as a secret and didn't want to actually tell anybody anything because it's Howard's secret to sell. But then he does his own little thing where he starts laying out things and, like, you know, California State says this, this, and this, and I can actually tell you snippets, or you say the roommate, blah, 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 I can say this, and you know what I mean? He always, basically, he tries to withhold the information all of the time, but because he's so knowledgeable and so clever, he's like, well, you could say this, this, and this, though, and then it would make me actually say it, because he does like following the rules, doesn't he? And obviously, every time it gets out, and as soon as Penny knows it, you kind of know that everybody else is going to know it, because I wouldn't say, like, she's a person that spreads secrets, but she can't keep one. You know what I mean? I wouldn't say she goes around spreading the rumor, but if she knows some information, she lets it out, and that's why Sheldon was like, well, if Penny knows, you're gonna know anyway, so blah blah blah. Thought it was a good episode. I enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys did too. If you did, please smash the like, really helps out. Subscribe if you're new, and as always, I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers, guys.